So as we get into paragraph 3, the dates and deadlines table, this is a great time to kind of talk about the overall intent of a contract and the fact that the buyer is very much protected in Colorado and the seller really is not so much. And the reason behind that, the philosophy is the seller owns this property. Many cases they've lived in it for years and they know the ins and outs, whereas the buyer has only seen it once, maybe twice. And so this is their opportunity to do their due diligence and make sure that they know what they're buying. Because at closing, Colorado being a table closing state, once the final documentation is signed, keys are transferred, money is exchanged at the closing table, and the sale is final, as is with all faults. So this table defines those deadlines that the buyer is going to have to work to make sure that they do their proper inspections, the proper review of any documentation, whether it's title work, HOA documentation. The appraisal will get done in this time. There may be a survey. Any inspection that they want to have completed is all going to be covered during the deadline specified in this dates and deadlines table. We'll also specify when we're going to close and when possession will occur. Typically that's at closing. Sometimes there's a lease back by the seller that enables them to get time to get moved out and whatnot. So that's the high level of what these dates and deadlines describe. As we go through the rest of the contract, we're going to talk about each of these in a lot more detail. So I'm not going to do that here. I will say that it's important to note that with an FHA or a VA loan, the appraisal deadline does not apply. The government-backed loans don't have a timeline. So if that appraisal comes in anytime during the transaction process, the buyer is still going to have their right to object about that appraisal. So that's the high level. Again, we're going to talk in more detail about each of these areas as we go through the rest of the contract. Thanks.